Guys, so welcome back to some AFK Journey. Today's video, we're going to be looking and getting into the Dream Realm, making sure that we have the ability to maximize the damage with the teams that based on the Necrodrakon or Drakon. Overall, you can see there are a couple heroes in here that are not reliant on the ultimate ability. You can also see we do have a few displacement abilities, which means heroes that are going to move in here and not take a lot of damage in here. Now, I did a couple of my battles in here earlier, but I want to go in here and show you the team that is really making the most progression and doing the most damage. So the key around this one is Kruger. So I'll drop these heroes out. So Kruger, of course, does a physical defense down, which makes a really big difference, lowering essentially the physical defense that we have on the boss right here, allowing you to do more damage. Now, Kruger in most combinations is really the key, and we see him in I think all of the boss modes, almost all of the boss modes he is run. Now, you only do have to get the physical defense. I built him up a little bit higher for the survivability because he doesn't do a ton of damage, but he still does a little bit of damage in here. Now, the next one we look at is Timisa. Overall, she, as a displacement hero, does a considerable amount of damage, and she also is physical damage. That is something to note because the physical damage reduction that Kruger does will amplify the damage that some of these other heroes are doing, allowing them to essentially do more damage. Then we're followed by Corinne. Now, most of these heroes as well fall into the A class, so they are not the top priority S heroes, but are really effective in a lot of different game modes. So we have a warrior, physical damage right here. Then we run in Vela. So Vela, unfortunately, at this point, I have only one single copy, but this is another hero that is a rogue, physical damage. Now, she attacks range. She also attacks up close. So I'm going to drop her in here. And the chances are, if you're very similar to my account, which I know a lot of players have a lot more of the A heroes. The last one we're putting in here is Marilee. But if you are running a couple different physical attack heroes like this, here is the ideal comp. Now, for me personally, I feel because I do have Odie up so high, even though Odie is magic damage, Odie will do a considerable amount of damage versus Vela. And I tried it a couple times. I wanted to test it before I kind of showed you guys. So you might have one or two heroes in here that you might have to swap out for other heroes, really dependent on the ones that you have built and what your luck has been for those heroes. Again, only getting that one copy of Vela, not really worth it to put in there. I can drop a copy of Smokey in here. Now, when it comes to the artifacts, I've actually went a couple different ways and tested it a couple different ways. So looking at the Enlightening spell, if you're using this, again, on Vela, Vela can do a considerable amount of damage, but overall, this one does a lot more damage with the Star Shard. Of course, the ultimate ability is the speed down, but also increasing the damage dealt. Me personally, I found the best results with the Awakening spell because I can keep my heroes alive longer, because with this 5-hero formation, we do not have a support hero. We do not have a healer in here. So I kind of use this. And again, I know the min-maxing of damage. I feel like if I had the heroes possibly built out a little bit further, we could do a lot more progression if I had Vela a little bit better. And of course, if I had some of these built up a little bit higher as well. So let's go ahead. Let's run the battle. See exactly how we can build this out or how we're going to do. Now, of course, with this as well is you're running the 3 light bears, you're running the 2 maulers. So you do get a little bit of a buff out there by putting Odie in. But again, we'll look at the damage after the battle and I'll kind of show you which one. Now, this again, with Vela running in place of Odie, is the best in slot team that we're seeing right now, doing the most damage. But again, there's going to be a lot of consistency or a lot of kind of RNG factor depending on who you have built and depending on how high you have them built. Now, as you can see here, Kruger did survive for quite a bit. Damage is going just over 4 million on this side. And of course, Timisia is right here in the back. So 36%. So not too bad on this level of the boss. Again, we got the new high score here, 36.7. We might be able to push towards 40. Now, the other kind of variation that we see with this is running the same kind of heroes. This is actually dropping out Odie, and this is putting in Rainier. So actually putting in the Hypo hero. Now, again, on that point with this hero specifically, the hero is a magic damage. So same as Odie. I feel like we do need to have this hero built up quite a bit further to essentially amplify the damage that we have in here. With a basic copy, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near the damage that we're looking for out of here. But let's go ahead and we'll run this one more time. And these two comps, either dropping in Rainier or dropping in Vela, are again the best ones that we're seeing as of right now, but very, very dependent on where you have the heroes built up and the performance they're going to do, just based again on how you do have them built up. Now, Rainier, I love his abilities. I love how he looks. You talk about a game that is just absolutely crazy when it comes to how visually stunning this game is. It's really cool. Now, of course, also keep in mind with Corinne, you can see the shielding aspect. So Rainier has a shield, Corinne has a shield. Overall, again, based on the build, based on where you have these heroes built out, has the ability to shield multiple heroes on the team. And even looking at a basic, we didn't quite pull as much damage, which is what I was kind of thinking that we wouldn't be able to do with the damage. But that's okay, because overall, you want to be pushing this and you really want to move the envelope on these bosses every single day. It is very, very important. Then, of course, the other big thing within here is the AFK rewards, which are right down here in the bottom left. This is probably one of the biggest parts where players overlook. You cannot overlook this, guys. You have to be farming, and you have to be farming this up nonstop. So I go in, I farm it in the very beginning when I first join, and then of course I farm that AFK rewards at the end. Now, right now we are at 140. I could have swapped a hero out of there, which I should have, to actually swap Thorn out of the resonating hand, or the hands of resonance, so we could actually put a stronger team in here. But everybody that I have as of right now is at 130. And of course, looking here at our mages, unfortunately are still not seeing much love at all. We're seeing a lot with the marksmen, some with the warriors, some with the rogues, but overall, when it comes to the mage classification itself, we're not seeing a lot of heroes being built in there. And then literally for the resonating, I'm just going down the list, right down the list. We almost have enough here for Odie, and he is already at Mythic, so definitely well worth it. Swapping them out and leveling them one by one by one. Now, a lot of players had questions about the event that is coming up, because the event also states, and they want to know how exactly we're going to do this. When you look at the rules, it states that you have to be right here. You'll need to reach level 240. A lot of players were saying, how can we reach 240? That's going to be impossible. You have a couple weeks, guys. You're going to have to grind as much as you can to actually go through here and see where you can make your progression to. Because yes, I agree as well. Getting to 240 is going to take a considerable amount of time by the time this comes out, which of course there could possibly be some adjustments in the next couple weeks, because I don't think they would roll out a new season or roll out a new part of the game that nobody or not many people at all are going to have access to. So again, just kind of stay tuned to what that is. Now, another question I got was the expert dueler. So a lot of players said that you could just go in here and sacrifice your defeats. So essentially do all three in the honor duel as defeats. I want to see this for myself, because again, I don't know if this is going to be the case. So we have some Greyborns. I'm going to go random, because again, this is just going to be for the defeats in here. So let's go ahead and match with less than 5 heroes. I want to see if I can get, again, the 3 defeats and it will count, because some players were saying you have to get a victory. You have to get at least 1 victory, which I don't know if that's the case. So we'll drop in 1, 2, 3. Try to make this quick, but I want to see, again, if these 3 defeats, and players are saying it literally takes a minute to go in here and just do those dailies. But of course, the challenge rewards a lot more difficult to get through. There we go. Formation is revealed. Boom, there's the 3 heroes. Let's confirm, because we don't have anybody else. And I'm hoping 5 heroes can take out 3. I would hate to go in here and see a victory with the 3 heroes that I have in here. I'm sure the other player is probably confused as can be, just based on the heroes that we dropped in here the first time and the placement of those heroes. There we go. So I believe we're just going to get wrecked in this one. Which Smokey's keeping them alive. Come on, guys. I was going to say there's no way that I'm going to defeat this team with what we have. There we go. So that is 1 loss. So unfortunately, Chippy is not happy. We picked up 1 less apple right in there, but let's go ahead. We'll do number 2. And at least if you go in here and do all 3 of these, because I know you do have a couple of attempts, trying to really farm this out, but making sure that you're doing the dailies in here. So again, we'll do the same. We'll just drop in 1, 2, 3. Because if that's the case, at least we can get pretty much the bare minimum. I know a lot of players are going for the skin that we do have on the hero, which is, I think, Pariza? Pasira? I think it's Pariza, to get the skin out of there. But again, mages, I don't know a lot of players that are using her. Even looking at tier list, I don't see many places that she's being really used at all. There we go. I think we're going to get wrecked. They have a pretty good team with Igor in there. And Igor is probably one that I feel a lot of players do underestimate for the PvP aspect, even in this game mode. Igor does incredibly well. Igor is one, again, that a lot of players were saying, don't sleep on Igor in this game mode. Don't sleep on Vela in this game mode. There's a few heroes that do very, very well when it comes to PvP and when it comes to a couple different game modes. So there we go, defeat number 2. That it would just take a couple minutes to get all 3 defeats. And I want to see if it counts for the challenge attempt for this one. So again, I'm sure the other players are kind of wondering what we're doing here, but maybe they'll see the video later and see exactly what we're doing. We got Corinne in there. We got Rowan. They're running light bears. We have a combination of whatever we got. And honestly, Viper, I think it's Viperon, AoE damage seems to do pretty good. Again, some players have said does well. Some players have said don't build the hero at all. So kind of some of these very, very mixed reviews. But I've been looking at what a lot of players are using kind of on a regular basis. And it's a lot of the same heroes. When you look at Kruger, when you look at Corinne, when you look at Mirali, a lot of them in the exact same bosses, or in all of the boss fights. There we go, 3 defeats just like that. Let's see if we do get, which it looks like we do. There does not have to be and again, I wanted to really try it out. There does not have to be a victory. So all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.